We closed our first trade and increased our balance. The second trade on this currency pair also closed in profit. Nevertheless, we managed to make a profit from this, and that's very good. I am sure you are also tired of the loud promises that making money with binary options is very easy. If it were that simple, everyone who writes to me would become rich within a week. But I am not going to make any promises or waste time in this video. I just want to show you how I spend my time when I trade. So observe my logical and sequential actions, and you can draw your own conclusions about whether this is right for you or not. I also want to mention that I prepared a small mind map that will help you better understand my strategy for making money. I've outlined 4 main points that will help you achieve success when trading using this strategy. We will start with selecting an asset, then move on to identifying key levels for trading. After that, I will explain how exactly a trade is initiated, what triggers it, and what causes a downward or upward movement. We will use very simple yet time-tested tools. Lastly, I will give you one very valuable piece of information that will help you avoid a huge number of mistakes. This feature exists and it is built into the Pocket Option platform, but unfortunately, not many people know about it, and not everyone pays attention to it, even though it is incredibly important and useful. So make sure to watch the video until the end to learn about it. Let's start with the first point, choosing the right asset. What does this mean? Right now, we will quickly analyze an example of an asset on which you definitely should not trade using today's strategy. This asset has a clearly defined downward trend and lacks any consolidation. In other words, the market is constantly falling and is either in a downward or upward movement. Now I switch to an example of an asset that we will most often use in our trading. This asset does not have a clearly defined trend. We have clear support and resistance zones between which we can trade and look for patterns for strong upward and downward movement. In simple terms, there is no trend in the market here. There is sideways movement. The market rises and falls. And unlike the previous chart, we do not have any prolonged trend, which is risky for our strategy. Let me open my first trade for now, and at the same time, we will discuss the second point, namely the identification of key zones for trading. What are key zones? Here we have a fairly simple schematic illustration. You can notice that on the type of currency pairs that suit us, a classic sideways movement has formed. That is, there is an upper boundary from which the chart constantly bounces back. Here, 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 and most likely at this point. Thus, we create a kind of wall, and this zone becomes a key area of interest when the chart approaches this area again. We understand that there have been numerous reactions from this area, so we can predict another decline or conversely another increase if this is a buying zone. Right now, I have made a very simple example. I executed a trade to go short, of course, for several reasons, but I will explain those later. The most important thing is that I chose the right asset, one that does not have a clearly defined trend. It exhibits a certain sideways movement. I selected the moment when the market approached this resistance area. If you look closely, we have already seen reactions from this area in the past, in the spot and in this zone. I expect a similar reaction here. There is definitely a seller here who is interested in selling from this area. So why would I interfere with him? I will simply join this movement. Thus, using the first 2 simple points from my strategy checklist, we close our first trade and increase our balance from $200 to $384. I won't be risking for a very long time, but for some time, I will have to increase my balance. I think we can continue trading and I would be happy to tell you about the third point of my checklist, which is about finding triggers. As you understand, trading solely based on support and resistance zones, as in this case, is simply not feasible. It won't yield any results. However, if you use the right triggers, of which I have several, we will discuss only the CCI indicator today. If you have some extra knowledge about well-known patterns, I believe you know how to apply that knowledge. The indicator is quite straightforward. It is a classic indicator of overbought and oversold conditions, which reacts much faster to various changes on the chart compared to the RSI. Although I also frequently use the RSI, I apply it slightly different situations. Let's add the CFSI indicator. This is easily done in the panel on the Pocket Option platform. We click on this indicator, expand it, and set it up. We leave the period unchanged, but we adjust the style. We change the upper boundary of overbought conditions to 150 and the lower boundary to minus 150. Now you should remember a very simple and clear rule. You open trades only when the CCI indicator goes beyond either the upper or lower boundary. At this moment, there is a market imbalance and the chart may indeed start to decline, or buyers may quickly come in and buy up all offers. The zone between 150 and minus 150 is a normal trading zone, and there is no point in making any trades against the trend here, as in such cases the trend is only developing and you may lose your money.
Here, the first trade was made based on a very simple principle. We had a support zone, and in addition, the CCI indicator was in the oversold zone at minus 191. This opened up a good opportunity for me to open a trade to the upside, and I made a profit on it. Let's see how the second trade turns out.
Alright guys, the second trade on this currency pair also closed in profit. We've managed to increase our balance quite well because these were actually risky trades in terms of the amounts, but the situation has played out wonderfully. Let's find another similar opportunity. Guys, with a slight delay, we are entering the trade. I'm taking this risk upon myself, but look at the fantastic situation we have unfolding right now. We've smoothly approached the fourth point of my checklist. As most people trade on candlestick charts, this setup is essential for making money with this strategy, and others as well. I don't know why so few people pay attention to the fact that you can simply enable the timer for the completion of the Japanese candlesticks here. This is very important because look, I have a slight divergence happening right now, and a new candlestick is about to start forming while my old trade is still open. This shouldn't happen. You should always enter a trade at the very beginning of the candlestick formation. This is a basic rule that you must understand. Right now, my $400 trade is closing, and I'm not super confident about it. We've already started to see some reaction here. The chart was recently in the overbought zone, and there is a level we talk about in the second point. Yeah, you can also choose some global reversal levels. Overall, this all constitutes one local level, and I'm still expecting a downward movement from here. Right now, I will see how this candlestick closes. If nothing extraordinary happens and it doesn't rise significantly, then I will open another trade for a downward movement right now. These moments can be very dangerous because sometimes the candlestick is just starting to form. You enter a trade when the candlestick looks like this. For example, you enter a trade for a downward movement and then the market suddenly reverses and this candlestick becomes a glowing green one. You absolutely don't know what to do with that because your position is no longer relevant. To avoid this, make sure to enable the timer in here and definitely follow my step-by-step checklist for making very simple and profitable trades. Well, finally, We are seeing the moment I've been waiting for all this time. Yeah, this is not our first trade, obviously, but nothing prevented me from continuing to trade until the pattern clearly played out. Right now, of course, it's too late to enter the market since our indicators are not even close to being overbought like they were, at the very beginning. Nevertheless, we managed to make a profit from this, and that's very good. Friends, I only have one trade left to reach at least $2,000 in my balance, which is a really cool goal. My signal bot will help me achieve this. I'm just turning it on now and activating it for 2 hours. If you don't mind, I will wait for its first signal, which could be something like this. Then I just make that trade, take my profit, and will summarize the video. Friends, nevertheless, we have received a signal. My task is simply to copy it and execute the trade on this asset as quickly as possible. The signal we received is for 5 minutes, indicating an upward movement. So I'm just opening the trade, and I don't know why exactly here and now, but that doesn't matter to me. All I'm doing is turning on notifications so I can react to signals as quickly as possible and open trades. They can be for 15 minutes and can result in either positive or negative outcomes. All the statistics are available in the channel and in the description below this video, so feel free to use them. Let's see what comes out of it. Listen guys, our last trade is closing in profit. Of course, it wasn't a super accurate position, but look, my real account is now $2,000. And this is not a demo account, as you might think. This is a real account that just half an hour ago had only $200. Here we have a robot sending us a positive signal. Of course, if I had entered 1 or 2 minutes later, I would have incurred a loss. So be sure to turn on notifications here to receive signals and react to them instead. Friends, thank you all for watching this video. See you soon.